Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today, yet again, I am going through all of your comments and answering your comments and questions. This is volume 13, so I will actually reply to your comment. Started doing it in volume 12 with the volume number so that you can actually find your answer in the specific answers video. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. The first question is from Shemdan876. Good day. I want to know if I can change my non-immigrant visa status, for example, from C1D to B1, B2. Hey Shemdan, yes, definitely, you can definitely do that. I do have a very detailed step-by-step video on this channel where I explain how to file the application. I believe the application number is I-539, but let me demonstrate it, how to find it. It's very simple. There are a lot of numbers, so I'll show you instead of just tell you what it is. I'll show you how to find it. So this is the official USCIS.gov website, official source of all the information that I give on this channel. And then we go to all forms, and basically this gives you all of the applications, all the petitions that are available. And let's see if I was correct with the I-539. There we go. So it's the application to extend, change non-immigrant status. Currently, you can file it online if you're just filing it for yourself. If you're filing for more than one person at a time, then you have to fill out the paper application. But all of these details, I have made a separate video specifically on explaining the process. And you can actually find who can and who cannot file. So you must not file Form I-539 to request an extension or change of status if there are any of this, but this doesn't fall for the categories that you mentioned, so you should be good to go. But if you have any more questions, go ahead, answer them here. I'm going to respond, and we're going to paste this thing right here, and that's what I'll do for every comment so that you know that your question has been addressed. Okay, moving on to the next one from Hamdi Mire. Thank you, sir, for responding. You're very welcome, of course. It's I-130. Okay, Hamdi, I remember you. I answered your comment in volume 12, so I'm really happy that you actually watched the response and you followed up with more information. So thank you for doing that. Let's see if I can do a better job answering your question. So it's I-130, which is the petition for alien relative. I've already checked the processing time, and it was 25.5 months at California Service Center. Okay, after 26 months, which was 1st September 2022, so let's see, September, October, November, December, January, so about 4 or 5 months ago, they requested initial evidence. I sent. Okay, so they followed up, they requested something else in September, and it's been about 5 months, 4 or 5 months since you sent the response with the initial evidence. Okay, then last 4 months, case is being actively reviewed by USCIS. In total, 31 months passed from priority date up to now. So I wonder if I can file inquiry. Okay, so technically you can definitely file the inquiry. Yes, because overall it's been past the typical normal processing time. However, overall, with your case, with your situation, I wouldn't worry about it that much, just because the fact that they recently requested this initial evidence. And whenever it comes for them to requesting the stuff like this, you know, whether it's initial evidence or if it's some kind of additional documents that they need, usually the way it works, right? They review the case, they request something, whether it's additional document or some initial evidence like in your case, then you send it. It takes them, I would say, at least about a month, because you have about a week, maybe 2 weeks if you're sending to a PO box, for them to get the mail, to get it from the PO box, to get it on the desk of the immigration officer who's reviewing your case, for them to review it finally, and trust me, they have a bunch of stuff on their desks usually, and then obviously write you a response and whatever is necessary, right? So overall, that whole process itself would be about 3-4 months. I know in most cases, whenever they do request additional evidence and you send the response, most of the times within the 6 months, you should hear something back. So I know it's been a long answer, but I hope it's helpful. What I recommend you to do, and again, this is more of a recommendation from the experience and not from some kind of, this is not legal advice, I'm not a counselor, nothing like that. But I think the best thing to do is, yes, submit the case inquiry. It's not gonna hurt it. It's no big deal. It's been passed, so it's fine. But expect to hear the response in the next couple months, and that should be fine. If it takes longer, if you submit the case inquiry now and you don't hear anything back in 2-3 months from USCIS, then I would recommend calling the customer service and actually following it up on your case. Again, whoever's watching this video, always be polite, always be professional when you call into the USCIS or really any government organization. Just my recommendation. So I'm gonna heart this and put this, and I hope I was able to help you, Hamdi. Okay, moving on next to Kelvin Valverde. Why USCIS put NMN next to my name? Okay, great question, Kelvin. Actually, I'm happy that you brought this up because I was looking for an opportunity. I've seen this happen sometimes. So NMN means no middle name, all right? I don't really know from your comment whether USCIS put NMN on your actual document, which would be quite ridiculous. But again, don't be surprised if it is. It happens. Mistakes like these happen. You have to figure out whatever document it is, green card, employment authorization document. Usually they have instructions on how to, with the paperwork that you got with the document, they always give the instructions in case if you have a mistake in your document, how to file for the replacement one, the fixed one, right? Why? Because, yeah, they make a lot of mistakes. But also, with that being said, for everyone who's watching this video, because I want to make these videos where I'm answering questions not just helpful to people who ask the questions, but also whoever's watching it, so that they, if you are in the immigration process, if you are considering to start an immigration process, so that you can get valuable information from these videos. No middle name. Most likely why this happened is because there was an application filed where with a blank middle name field, and I always say in this video, don't leave the blank spaces. Most likely somebody filled it up with NMN, no middle name, and whoever else was reviewing that application misinterpreted it as the middle name and put it in the system as the middle name. So now the NMN is the middle name for Kelvin, which is ridiculous. And again, this is an assumption that I'm making of what happened, but stuff like this happens. So try to avoid it by, if it's a middle name, then you just say not applicable, N/A. That one is, you can't confuse it with a middle name because it has the slash, and nobody has a slash in their middle name. Okay, so I'm gonna put the heart, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Nanette Estrada, and I will try to, let's see if we can get to here with this video, to the last one from Karis, so that it's not too long, and then I'll keep addressing in the future volumes, obviously. All right, so a question from Nanette Estrada, just 12 hours ago. What best to do according to the USCIS website in California Service Center? Okay, what best to do according to the USCIS website in California Service Center? They process right now the application filing December 10, 2020. Okay, so they are processing in the California Service Center the applications from that they received back in December 2020. And my PD is December 02, 2020. Okay, great. That's perfect. The same service center, but still my case is still reviewing. Okay, so you're only like 8 days, which is nothing to worry about. Technically, yes, you can submit the inquiry, but I wouldn't worry about it for another, well, now it's what? Let's see, what best to do? And my PD December 02. So let's see, January, and now we're in February 12th. So it's 3 months. 3 months over. I would say go ahead and submit the case inquiry. Most likely, though, you're not going to get anything specific. But I would say in the next 3 months, if you don't hear any updates, then I would say it's a little bit of kind of a concern, and I would recommend, actually reaching out to USCIS, not just submitting case inquiry, but actually calling the customer service and kind of following up. Again, be polite, be professional. So I'm gonna heart this, but yes. With that being said, everyone who's watching, if the date is specific, I actually showed it in that video why USCIS case taking so long. If you see a specific date, right, in that blue window that shows you the typical processing times, right above it, you will see that it's for 80% of the cases. So that means there's a whole 20% of cases that are taking either faster or longer. All right. So I would give another 3 to 4 months at least above that normal processing time, just in case if your case falls into that 20% before I really start kind of stressing out about it. You shouldn't really be stressing out about it anyway, but I understand, I've been through this process myself, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking when you're like, okay, well, I should have gotten something by now, and nothing happens. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Victor T. Tunic. Question on update 2023 for Uniting for Ukraine and CHNV, which is what is it? Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela. Okay, programs from USCIS. So, question from Victor. He filed I-134A for my mom, dad, and my brother who are in Ukraine right now. My mom's application got confirmed instantly. For my dad and my brother, it's been 3 weeks without any update, any suggestions. Okay, Victor, so congratulations on your mom's approval. That's really great news. Typically, though, they do take a little bit, I would say about a month at least. So you asked just 23 hours ago. So I would say give it at least another week. And then if nothing happens, then reach out to USCIS and see, kind of follow up. Say, hey, guys, I got it from my mom, but for my dad and my brother, there's still no response. But I'm thinking that if they already reviewed your mom's case, which is extremely fast, it's really, really, really good. Usually, I would say months and a half at least. So you got your mom's case processed very, very quickly. But if within the next week, give them at least a week for your dad and your brother. If they don't, if there's no response, then yeah, I would definitely recommend reaching out to USCIS and just following up. All right, so I'm gonna heart this, put the response. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have guys who I responded to and whoever's watching, if you have follow-up questions, go ahead, ask them, and I will address them in my future videos for sure if I can get to it, because I get a lot of comments, a lot of questions. So next one is from Alex Williams. This helped, thanks, you're very welcome. My green card expired 5 years ago. Will I be okay to apply for renewal with the I-90 form? Thanks. Alex, so it's a little bit of a complicated situation. Why did you let your green card expire? And why did you let it go for 5 years? Now, that's the question that I'm asking, and that's the question that's going to be asked by USCIS, the immigration officer, whoever's going to be reviewing this. I would probably seek legal advice, find an immigration attorney in your area, find someone who offers free consultation over the phone, just over the phone, free consultation. Just call them up, tell them your situation. We definitely need to know more details. Like, why did your green card expire? Why did you take 5 years after the expiration to do something about it? Because these answers to these questions will determine whether you are able to kind of restore that permanent residence status or not. Because green card, permanent residence, green card itself, it sounds like, just a card, silly document that you can replace. But with that card, what it gives you, the permanent resident status, the immigrant status, that is a very, very important status. That's a very, it's really one step down from United States citizenship. So it's very important to maintain that properly and to renew it if necessary. So yeah, definitely reach out to an immigration attorney. That's really the best I can tell you. If you can follow up with a new comment on volume 13, if you're watching it, let us know what happened, why did it expire. But you know, expiration a year, maybe 2 years, easier with 5 years. That's a very long time after the expiration. So guys, if you're watching, you know, stay on top of this. You can't let this stuff like this just go. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Kodala Bhaskar. Ready? Hi bro, I'm from India. Mine I-94 records showing that no records found for traveler, but my travel history shown Abu Dhabi arrival. Could you please help me in how to retrieve my I-94, please? Hey Kodala, thank you for watching the videos. So this video that you watched, I-94 online, that is the way that you get the I-94. And I actually have the website pulled up here. This is the same website, the CBP, the US Customs and Border Protection official website. And get most recent I-94. I show it in great detail on how to fill out this form, all of that sort of stuff. I mean, there's really not much form. It's your name, your last name, birthday, document number, country of citizenship, and that's it. Now, if it's not coming up, then I also explained how to submit that inquiry to CBP directly and inform them of the technical error that your I-94 is not coming up. But that is the way to get it. So check it out. Follow the process and hopefully you will be able to retrieve it without any problems. Okay, moving further to Victor Padilla. What about photos? Does the online application let you attach photos? So that is a question on how to renew Green Card 2022 Form I-190. Yes, yeah. So whenever it comes to online applications, yes, they do support your upload for really anything. Now, whenever it comes to photos specifically, I think that application, but again, I might be wrong because that stuff always updates, always changes. Most likely they will ask you for the photos online, but yes, online applications, you definitely will see there will be a separate section where you actually upload everything, whether it's scanned documents or the pictures or really whatever it is that you need to physically upload, right? Some kind of files. Because it's a green card renewal, so you're getting a new card, I would assume that most likely it will request you to upload the pictures as well. So just like you would have everything ready to file in the mail, you will have to have everything ready in a digital format so that you can upload it to the application as you're filling out the application. On the plus side, when you're filling out the actual, like the informative part of the application where you're putting your name, your address, all that sort of stuff, you can fill that out, be done with it, save your progress, and let's say if now it's requesting you pictures and you don't have pictures, you can come back to it later. So it's really not that big of a deal. But yes, to answer your questions, online applications, if the application requires the pictures, then you will see the upload, special like upload tab or whatever to get to upload it to the to attach it to the application. All right, next question from Karis K. Where to file question. If filing online for a green card renewal, can I attach or submit the form online while the docs I'm submitting online? Or it has to be by mail? Okay, so it's the same exact question. I'm gonna put it right here. So basically in this one, Victor was asking about the pictures. Karis is asking about the documents themselves. Yes, all the physical, if there are documents that are associated with the application that are needed, it will give you an option. If, for example, if the tax return is required, it will have the field where you upload the tax return. All right, so yes, it's part of the application. All right, so let's move on to the last question in this video from Albert Allen. And looks like there's a comment there from I am Team Jesus 20. I like that name. So I'll answer this one. It was 7 days ago, and then in the next video I will go through the most recent and then the older ones. Okay. All right. So question from Albert. What do people do that have been waiting for 20 years and others 10 years? And I am Team Jesus 20. He says you have been waiting over 10 years for your I-130 approval. Oh, he asked the question. Okay, so here's the thing, right? This question was posted on I-130, which is the petition for alien relative. It really depends on which category. Again, I keep repeating it, but this is really the key. This is the key as to why you're waiting for so long. If you have filed a petition for an alien relative and it is your spouse, your children, it's going to be fast. It's going to be very fast. I mean, we're talking about less than a year fast. If you submitted a petition for alien relative and that alien relative is your parent and you're a United States citizen, not the green card, because with a green card you can't file for your parents. You can file for your spouse and your kids. It will take a little bit longer, but right now let's stick to the example where we are US citizens and we're filing the petition. Because obviously for US citizens filing a petition, it will be faster. Again, it depends on which one are you. Are you permanent resident or are you a citizen? So if you're a citizen filing it for a parent now, it will still be pretty fast, but it will take a little bit longer than spouse and kids. It will probably be, year and a half, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, depending on for which country, depending on where you filed, which state you filed, which service center it went to, the application. Now, if you're filing for your brother, your sister, those applications take ridiculously long time. They take years and years and years and years, and I've heard 7 years, and I've heard 10 years, and I've heard 15 years, and now Albert is asking, what do people do waiting for 20 years? I'm assuming they're waiting for brothers and sisters. Unfortunately, that's just the case. Okay. Again, it depends on whether you're a citizen or permanent resident, which as a permanent resident, you can't file for a brother, so most likely you're a citizen filing for a brother, sister, and depending on which country they're in, depending which state they're filed in, it's taking this ridiculous amounts of time. What can you do? Can you really do anything? There are a few things that you can do. Okay, so number one, obviously, is just go head on and figure out if it's in USCIS still, if it hasn't been reviewed by USCIS yet. You reach out to USCIS, you file the case inquiries, you call the number, you go to these InfoPass appointments, you ask questions, you're polite, you're professional, but you're following up, you're doing things. And if you don't know how to escalate that process, I've done a separate video where how to complain, basically, that USCIS is just being ridiculous and taking forever. Again, it's not necessarily USCIS' fault, it's just the way these applications are handling. It's silly. Don't ask me my personal opinion on that. I think it's silly, but it is what it is. So you try to speed it up by doing all of these things. You can reach out to your elected officials. Again, I've done that separate video. Check it out. It's here on this channel. How to actually complain whenever it comes to USCIS problems with USCIS. If it is not with USCIS, if let's say USCIS already approved the case and it moved to the Department of State and now the Department of State is dragging, obviously you have to deal with the Department of State. So you see, it really depends. But most of the times, stuff like this happens when people just let it go and they just don't follow up. For 20 years, the case been in the air and they never followed up and they never checked the status, and most of the times, cases that are like this in ridiculous stages is where people let them get to those ridiculous timelines. You have to follow up, you have to stay on top of it. And will it speed up the case? Maybe, maybe not. But as long as you are doing everything you have to do, and that's staying on top of your case, that's really all we can do, right? And that's what we are expected really to do. So again, you can always reach out to an immigration attorney. Most of the times though, with an immigration attorney, the only thing that they will do is they'll do exactly the same thing. They will file a case inquiry, they will call on your behalf, they will send a letter on your behalf, which all of that stuff we can do ourselves. I'm not saying that the services of an immigration attorney are not helpful. There are some situations where I definitely do recommend having an immigration attorney, but following up and staying on top of the case is our responsibility. So I hope I was able to answer your question, and I am actually gonna put not on my own, but on this for Team Jesus. And yes, let me know, you're watching this, if you're watching this volume 13, if you have any additional questions, drop them in the comments below, and as you can see, I try to go through all of them and address all of them. As always, thank you very much for watching. Really hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next one, and God bless you all.